What's up? It's Eric Trin, and finally in this video we're going to be breaking down what exactly it means to be peak aesthetic. You hear it online all the time, like people chasing aesthetics, people want an aesthetic physique, but in my head I recently came to this epiphany on exactly what that means, and it's broken down to 3 categories that you have to master. So today I'm going to be able to show you exactly what it looks like in the 3 categories you need to hit and master in order for you to reach peak aesthetics. And by the way, if this is the first time you're seeing me, whether it's on the YouTube algorithm or you've seen me from Instagram, my name's Eric Trin and I am a fitness coach. I also been doing content creation for like 3 years now. It's kind of been part of my life, so it's mostly fitness oriented. But through my 5 years of lifting weights, I've only came to this conclusion now, and that was when I was in the shower when I was thinking, because for some reason my mind likes to run in the shower. But anyway, I've realized that even though I've had a little bit of success fitness wise, I still was missing something, and it followed under these 3 criterias that I'm about to list today. So without further ado, let's break down exactly what that means. So without spoiling anything, I've been able to make this little presentation that I'm going to be going over, which covers each individual topic. All right, it says True Form Fitness because that's the name of my coaching, and this is where I really believe that you can reach your truest form to its T, where you reach like the peak level of physicality you can possibly achieve, right? So, what are peak aesthetics? It's broken down into 3 categories, all right? As you can see here, it's appeal, the way you look, vitality, the way you feel, and performance, how well you can do things, your capabilities. All right, I'm gonna go over each of these 3. In my head, these 3 come together in a little ecosystem in a way. For example, like if you wanna feel good, you gotta look good. That's what everybody says. But I think it's the other way around as well. If you wanna look good, you have to feel good. Meaning you need to be able to have your diet right. You need to be able to have supplements in check and have like your general health for you to feel good on a regular basis, for you to look good. And feeling good also ties into performing well. We all know performance such as like how much you're capable of, whether that's a sport, whether that's lifting weights, what you can actually achieve with that. You can't do well if you don't feel good. Like a easy example for me is obviously getting like a good pump, a good workout. I know that some of the time it's not going to feel nice, but you got to reach this level where the pump feels good. You got to reach this level where like you can see how you can like what you're doing so that you can get far, if that makes sense. And you can't do that if it doesn't feel good and if you don't have your dieting, your supplements, all that in check. And I'm going to get into all of this, but let's break it down simply by going over each one from left to right. Let's go. The first one that a lot of people are interested in is appeal. It's the way that you look, the aesthetics, right? And I put this little comment here that I'm going to read over, which is just a little mental note that says proportions, your frame, body fat percentage, muscle mass, genetics, right? We all know that all of these things play a factor in the way that you look, but this is where I truly just break it down and what makes an aesthetic physique and what gives you this peak aesthetic, right? I have here on the left a little illustration that I was able to draw on my laptop, which is funny. But this kind of encapsulates exactly what I'm trying to talk about, right? Broad shoulders, a wide clavicle, and I've been told back when I used to be in the weight room, or like if you were somebody who's a bit more old school, you understand that a lot of bodybuilders aim for the quad size to be the same as the waist size. And that's why I have these highlights here. This is just so that it matches, and honestly, it does give you more of an aesthetic look, right? So obviously, wider frame. You have decent size on your arms. You don't look like a twig. You have a slimmer waist, and not only do you have abs, you have obliques, which honestly makes you look a lot better. And being low body fat percentage, because you won't be able to see any of the insertions or any of your genetics if you weren't there. So all these factors put into account exactly how you look, and this really just makes you more appealing. The proportions of things really do matter. If your shoulders were a bit smaller, kind of like this, you're not gonna look that good. Like your clavicles being very narrow, right? If you look wider, you look just more masculine and appealing in the eyes of just general people. And honestly, everybody wants to look better. These are the components you have to master in order for you to look more appealing, right? It's also why you see those physiques online and this just stands out a lot more. The lower body fat percentage, the better muscle mass, the wider shoulders, lats, and slimmer waist, like you see on all these new generational bodybuilders like Adam Yu, Joseph Shin is popping off, David Lade and OG. Like, these are the reasons why these people are able to have immense success with fitness. If you actually achieve this, you'll look more aesthetic. But the thing is, it's not everything, because the other two categories still are a factor to make you actually above average, makes you peak aesthetics. A lot of people who have very shredded physiques feel like crap all the time. There's a little in between, there's a middle ground where you still feel good and look good. And I'd say that's at the body fat percentage of like 10 to 15, right? That's pretty solid. But every single time people get extremely cut, then they just lose everything, right? Their testosterone gets lower, they don't have as much libido, they feel low energy all the time, and that's why the second thing I'm going to go over is vitality, your general feeling, your general health, which is a huge importance, because what matters about a physique if you can't actually secure your health for the rest of your life? So you don't have to rely on the big medical industry, or you have to rely on a doctor to tell you what to do, right? This is why general feeling, energy, brain function, testosterone, I spelled that wrong, but it is what it is. Hold on. Testosterone, yeah. This really matters above else, because you wouldn't be able to function properly or perform at all if you didn't feel good, if you didn't have your health in check. All right? So I have this little picture here of a story that I posted recently, of which my supplements and my electrolytes is what I take every single morning, and I'm always posting that on my Instagram. You can even check right now. It's probably up, right? You're looking at how to feel better on a daily, and I put my electrolyte powder over any water flavoring liquid thing, like, because there's no food dyes. This is what I take, and I have Instagram posts about this of my supplements, right? I'm fully natural. I've been natural for my entire life. I didn't take nothing, no peptides, no steroids, and I still feel really good even after I take these. All right? The essentials that I tell everybody, I tell to my clients, I tell to people who ask, are these three things. It's vitamin D3 and K2, or just vitamin D3. It's fish oil, omega-3s, and it's magnesium. A little one in there that I recently put in that actually did change my life and increased my libido was maca root, right? I have more sex drive now. I have more energy throughout the day, and it's truly helping my performance as well. Supplements, and not to mention eating whole foods, right? Single ingredient whole foods, this completely changes your energy levels and how you feel on a regular basis, right? A lot of people have low micronutrient diets that keep them lethargic and low energy. You don't actually know what living life feels like until you get your nutrition in check, right? And you wouldn't be able to look good, or you wouldn't be able to do as much if you didn't have that, right? You'd feel fatiguing in the gym. You would feel low energy throughout your days. You wouldn't be able to think properly, right? A big reason why I take my nutrition so seriously and everything else is because I care about my brain health as well. I don't want my brain to deteriorate. That's why I have some brain training, meaning I'm trying to continuously learn and also use my diet and supplements to help me with that, like vitamin B12 and having dark chocolate. But this plays a huge factor on eventually how you're gonna look and the way that you perform in the gym, in your sports, and everything else in life, right? How you study, how quick your brain is, all of that. And that's why it's a pillar you must master as well. And now lastly, all of this doesn't matter unless you're actually using your tools. So performance is a incredibly huge factor. As you can see here on the right, I have a few pictures of me and my little credentials, right? I'm 5'6". I weigh like around 140 pounds, so I'm not the heaviest or the biggest, but I was able to reach an incredible strength for my size of doing 7 plates for 7 on the leg press, repping out 225 pounds, which is way higher than my body weight. All this stuff, right? I'm still working on my strength. That's why it's always a continuous journey and I love it. But I'm pretty satisfied with how far I've gotten since I started, right? If you guys don't know, I started as a scrawny, skinny ass dude. I wasn't able to even pick up a 20-pound dumbbell, right? But through my training, not just genetics, but I was able to build this incredible physique and this incredible strength, right? On the bottom left picture, you can see that I also did a little bit of combat sports for a short amount of time, and that opened me to a lot more worlds. But yeah, your performance plays a huge part, and this means like combat sports, powerlifting, running, athleticism as a whole, and you wouldn't be able to have this if you didn't have your vitality, right? But this also matters because many people who still don't look like they work out or anything, it's because they don't, right? They eat clean, they have their supplements, they take whatever they can, the next thing that says that they're gonna like lose fat or whatever the heck, their heart health, lower their cholesterol or something like that, but they still look the same. And that doesn't always mean that you're healthy. You can be higher body fat while eating single ingredient whole foods, and that doesn't mean you're healthy because having all that fat on you is unhealthy, right? That's why activity, your performance, your capabilities matter a lot. And not only does it actually make you healthy, it makes it so that it separates you from everybody else, right? If you reach high performance for your composition, people will start noticing. They're like, damn, you're actually stronger than I thought, right? That's why it's so impressive. That's why it catches people's eyes, and that's why it sets you apart from everybody else. So this is an extremely simple breakdown of what it means to have peak aesthetics, and I've only came to this conclusion now. I always was missing one of these things, but my life was so much better when I realized that each 3 of these categories were doing good, right? I felt good. I was extremely strong in the gym. I looked the best I did. I was leaner and I had more muscle mass. And not only did my family notice, not only did my friends notice, not only did my girlfriend notice, man, it just made it so that my life was so much better and my mentality changed as well. But this was only possible through my efforts, right? Putting in the work, the discipline, all those buzzwords that you hear online. It's completely true though, right? You need to put in the work. This is what I want to start pushing for everybody to understand. Look good, feel good, perform well. You master these 3 things and you're going to master physicality. You'll reach peak aesthetics and your truest form, right? That'd be fucking amazing for everybody. But as you can see, I have this little doc here, which kind of breaks down what you're rejecting by being able to achieve this. And a lot of you guys don't really know my story. Some of you are seeing me for the first time. Some of you have been following me but haven't really understood where I came from, right? You saw that I was skinnier. You saw that I was bulkier. You saw that I was, just out of shape, but you really didn't see what was happening in here, which is an extremely important aspect. First, let's go over what you are rejecting by becoming your peak aesthetic and your truest form. You're rejecting pleasure over purpose, right? You're focusing on your purpose over how you feel. You have to put in the inputs instead of care about, your emotions, what feels good in the moment, because most of the time that leads to your destruction, right? Destructive vices and addictions. This kind of plays a part into it, meaning sex, drugs, weed, drinking, playing video games way too frequently, doom scrolling as the new vice in this day and age, which is something that even gets me, right? This is something that I have to work on as well. Low self-esteem, not really believing in yourself that you can achieve anything, and that honestly poisons everything else you try to do in life, right? You don't have that trust in yourself that you can do anything, and that is very destructive to you as a person. Low confidence, negative mentality, having no personality, like people talk to you and it's almost like talking to a wall or somebody who doesn't even exist. Staying weak physically and mentally. All these things are what you are rejecting. And if you've been following for this long, I'm going to break down exactly how you can overcome these things and actually achieve peak aesthetics in the next video, right? I'm only listing what it is now, but I'll soon be able to break down how to achieve this extremely high goal, right? If people are interested. But you do this by relying on routines and habits, because we can't rely on our emotion and just going with the flow, because that's led us to relapsing, starting and stopping all the time. Switching your lifestyle. The lifestyle you're living right now is kind of supporting your vices, supporting the things that are holding you back the most and keeping you sedentary, complacent, and comfortable, right? Creating an unbreakable mindset, meaning if you do go back to those vices, if you do fall off track with the routines, you miss a day or anything like that, you have an unbreakable mindset that will keep you on track, keep you back on track as soon as possible, so it's almost like you never left. Action over attraction. Instead of wanting the things, you are taking urgent action, imperfect action towards your goals. It doesn't matter if it looks pretty or not. You're just trying everything to really get there with urgency because you care about your time. Following non-negotiable principles, meaning you make sure that you do the thing no matter what time of day it is, no matter if you're hungover or not, no matter if you have gotten 7 hours of sleep or not, it doesn't matter. You have these principles to live by. And pursuing a better you. At the end of the day, you have that sense of direction by really picturing and imagining how you look, how you feel, what you can do, what you're capable of. And that version of you, that identity of you, is what you're aiming for, and you're always trying to. This will just keep you aligned with where you're trying to go. Nobody wants to put in a lot of effort and suffer in the pursuit of, I don't know, something very vague. Oh, like a six-pack or losing fat or something like that, right? You want to truly envision where you want to be and actually pursue it every single day. I had to reject all these things because I came from being exposed to pornography at a very young age, having that as my vice. I didn't smoke, I didn't drink, I just had that as my vice, and it really did hold me back mentally, regardless of if I had fitness success or not, right? I was always kind of chasing women. I talked to women on a regular. I had a really negative mentality because my surroundings, my environment was very toxic, and that just made it so that it was a regular thing to, talk crap about your friends, say these bad things, always tell yourself that you're unworthy, but that truly is destructive. All these things that I've listed, I've actually been there. So that's why when I was actually able to push past and excel with fitness and reach where I wanted to go, none of these things fazed me anymore. I was able to reject all of this. The thing is, it's always a continuous battle to try to get better every day and continue to reject this. But you're only able to do that if you make it apparent and in the front of your mind that these things are real and that your life isn't as good if you have these things. And so it's been fully broken down. Look good, feel good, perform well. And this is honestly the most simplest and the best way that can be digested to me. I hope it's been the same for you. I hope this video has been valuable. And if you really do want to see me break down how you can get there, right? Achieve this, each 3 categories looked over and analyzed, then comment down below, like up this video, share it around, share it to your friends, share it to the people who you know need this. And I'll put in the work and make something even better than this so that you guys actually understand how to get there. I'm already helping others try to achieve this. Once again, I'm a fitness coach, and the members that I'm working with one-on-one are continuously trying to pursue a better version of these 3 categories and reach their peak aesthetics, right? Whatever that means for them. And I'm helping them along the entire journey. They're speaking to me on a regular basis, they're learning the systems, and if you want that to be you, then in the link in the description, I have a book call link. Book your call and we'll talk personally, face to face, and I'll qualify you to see if you are a good fit. But with that being said, hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.